It's estimated over half of all referrals to Prevent are about under 18s, which is thought to account for around 2,000 young people, the youngest of which was 4. We can speak now to Attiq Malik, who's a lawyer based in Luton and member of Prevent Watch. He has represented families caught up in the Prevent process. And also with us, Irfan Shishti, who you saw in that film. He's a Prevent practitioner, co-founder of Me and You Education, and Imam of Manchester Central Mosque. He is in our Salford studio. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
Mr. Malik, first of all, this report that we've seen suggests there's no evidence of widespread resistance to Prevent by teachers, and yet significant concerns amongst responders about the stigmatisation of Muslim students. How much is that a problem for you?
Well, before I start, if I can just mention, one of the cases that I've dealt with, the youngest child to be referred to Prevent was actually 3.
Really?
Yeah, it's really shocking.
Without naming names and giving private family details, what was the referral about with a 3-year-old?
With the 3-year-old, drew a picture of his father cutting a cucumber, and obviously because the child's only 3 years old, could not pronounce properly what the word cucumber was, and was referred to Prevent because of that. It was a very, very shocking story. It was known as the cucumber case, and was widely reported on in the media, both
So what did they think the child was saying?
They thought the child was saying cooker bomb.
Cooker bomb?
Cooker bomb.
Right.
So this
is true?
This is true. I dealt with this myself. It was widely reported in both mainstream media in the UK and internationally, because it's caused so much shock as to when does it Prevent duty start or stop. You know, are we going to go for 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 1-year-olds? You know, how far gone is this? And
do you think that is Prevent's failing, or an individual teacher's failing?
I would never criticise any teachers. We have to look at what the current situation in this country is. You know, our public services are bursting at the seams. You know, our teachers, our NHS departments, the police departments, they're not getting the funding that they should.
The teachers are not complaining about this duty. There is no, quote, no widespread resistance to Prevent by teachers.
Well, that's shocking because to hear that, because the National Union of Teachers has repeatedly voiced concerns, asked for the scrapping of the Prevent duty, asking for independent review of the Prevent regime in its entirety. And another interesting point is this. The United Nations Special Rapporteur has also published reports, which has been published by the United Nations the Human Rights Commission, and what that says is that the Prevent duty is not only inherently flawed, not only does it fail to meet its objectives, but it adds to the problem that it's trying to resolve.
Okay,
and it goes one step further, if I may. It says that it actually goes against the grain of human rights and democracy.
All right, well, let's bring in Irfan Shishti on that point. Goes against the grain of human rights and democracy. How do you respond to what Mr. Malik is saying?
Yeah, I mean, you saw, as in the clip there, how we deal with this on the ground level with students and also staff. And I think, actually, to be honest, it's very unhelpful for Mr. Malik just to quote one example of how actually, you know, from the case that I know about there, it was actually dealt with in the proper procedures that it should have been done. And so, you know, that's just an unhelpful kind of quotation of one, you know, flawed response. You know, the key issue in this whole agenda is that Prevent deals with situations as a safeguarding duty, just as it deals with any other safeguarding issue. And we've been working now with the school sector and education sector for a number of years, and overwhelmingly the response, as you caught from that report as well, and I'm speaking to you as a practitioner on the ground, speaking to teachers, the confidence that they now have, because we are using the word safeguarding. I'm an ex-teacher myself, and you know, safeguarding is bread and butter for people. People understand that if there is harm, regardless of what type of harm, then teachers have a duty to safeguard and to deal with that in the appropriate manner.
All right, one final point to you, Mr. Malik. Ben Wallace, Security Minister, 150 people, we don't know their ages, 150 people have been dissuaded from fighting in Syria. You must welcome that.
I'm glad you raised that point. In actual fact, Amber Rudd said it was 150 people stopped from travelling to Syria. Now, this figure doesn't make any sense, and I'll tell you why. If someone's preparing to travel to Syria to fight against ISIS, which is what Amber Rudd said...
we can argue about the figures. It might be 10, it might be 150, it might be... You must welcome the fact that they have been dissuaded from travelling.
This is the point. If they have been dissuaded, that's actually a criminal act. that's a preparatory act of terrorism.
Yes.
Now, looking at the figures, they said it's 150 people stopped committing these offences. It's an offence that's been committed over the last year. Now, looking at the figures, in the whole of England, over the last year, only 61 people have been convicted of terrorism. Now, terrorism, in that sense, includes preparing to go to another country, includes maybe sending money to somebody, includes going on the internet looking how to make a bomb. So if only 60 people in the whole of the country last year were convicted of terrorism-related acts, where is 150 figure come from? Is it a myth? Is it another Tory lie that was told in elections?
Okay,
What is going on?
We'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Thank you both. Thank you.